Hey guys, what's up? Welcome in. How you guys doing out there? Um, whew, is it, I feel like every intro to checking in on the astrology of 2023 should just be like, whoo, it's intense out there. Cause it's intense out there, you guys. I've been doing one-on-one readings and doing one-on-one work, with tarot and astrology this week, and focusing in on helping people understand how the eclipse portal is going to affect their energy and everything. So it's just been quite, excuse me, it's been something else. The way the energy is hitting. Of course, thank you so much for being here. I will reiterate that if you are in the US, you may, depending upon where you're located, you're welcome to check out the path of the annular eclipse. It will be on the 14th. So check it out. It's very possible that you may be located in a spot where you can get a good viewing of it. I'm not going to try to tell you. I'm in the southeast, so it really depends on the path. You just have to look it up and check it out, and it's going to be. I'm sure you've seen it cross your feeds at some point or another. It's going to be what we call the Ring of Fire. The way that it's going to occur, and I think that is very interesting to consider that we had that rare hybrid eclipse that opened up the Wheel of the Year. The wheel of the zodiac right after equinox season, because I think it's almost like Spirit is like, it's like we've spent this year, literally electrically, as we do progressively every year, right? But we've been. It was like I was seeing a visualization in my mind of how we've been kind of charged up like batteries, because we are, we are electromagnetic, and we're like these grounding conductors for the energy that is coming into the earth grid. And it's very interesting. It's just been like, it's just being charged and everything, even in my own personal work and my own meditations and my own, on my own journey. And of course, working, which I'm so filled with gratitude that I get to do, working with people all throughout this year. It's been quite, it makes me think voltage, like Aries energy, right? Shout out to Aries gang if you can keep up with an Aries, because that energy is something else, okay? And they don't quit. I do love my fire signs, though, as a person with like prominent airs. I do have a lot of fire placements myself, but I'm very dominant in air. And a fire sign will just gas you up real quick. But it's been interesting energy, you guys, and it's like Spirit, our ancestors and guides, our team and our higher self and our own monad in our own unique experience. It's micro and it's macro, but my calling in this is to look. We could get tea and we could sit down and talk about the political. We could talk about the societal. We absolutely could. And oh man, it would be rich. But what I've been called to do here, sorry, I was post gym. I was doing different things and realized I never put my, whenever I come back, sometimes I'll like charge my bracelets. Also, they get a little sweaty, but listen, my calling, my purpose, my sole purpose when I work with people, and we all have unique purposes. It's very beautiful. It's all necessary that we show up in our own authenticity, right? So whereas I may see astrology as being applicable in X, Y, and Z way, other people, and you'll find your tribe, right? So I'm saying we could get tea And we could just really talk about, America's Pluto return and how we're about to go into America's Chiron return. And, whenever Pluto hits and really sits all up in the Aquarius energy, and Mars, going into Scorpio. Ooh, today, actually. Hello, Mars and Scorpio. Buckle up if you have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, rising, prominent planet placements. Buckle up, Scorpios. Anyway, listen, I love to and feel guided by, and it is my purpose is that we come into the micro, because that's what's going to set the tone. And when we are all following our intuition, discernment on our own growth path, on our own life path, on our own karmic, or you could say life cycles and lessons and everything. When we do that and continuously, not spiritual bypassing, I don't even care what's going on over there. No, absolutely not. But I'm saying this is a conversation for over here. We're not going to delve into how Mars and Scorpio and what's going on and the energy of war and Pluto squaring the nodes. And because listen, it's prominent in the collective, but then we would need to step back and realign ourselves, because that's going to bring us out of alignment on what we're focused on. Because let's say the whole point of saying all that is, I was just going to say, Spirit was showing me this image. It's like the ring of fire is so bright behind the eclipse. It's like, don't forget what lit you the fuck up at the beginning of this year. Or we could really talk about Mars and how Mars, journeys are a little bit longer. There's astrological energy that could really even take you back on into the spring of, like March time frame in 2022. And you could, if we're talking about fire, Mars is also willpower, Aries, Mars energy, willpower, what lights you up, what has you divinely inspired, what makes you want to let's go. Let's go ahead and get into it. So you may even find yourself on your own personal path reflecting back to like spring of, again, March season of 2022. What was going on then? And then what was Mars kind of coming out swinging at that took you on a journey through that year that then brought you to that rare hybrid solar eclipse? Well, I'll guarantee you, when you're brought to a place by Spirit and on the journey of your higher self, if you're practicing self-awareness and healing and a growth journey, and sometimes, even if you're not, you're going to find yourself being brought up there anyway, and that's good. That's all right. That means we got stubborn ancestors. That means we got, our higher self is very adamant, and that's good. I'm telling you, that's a blessing. If you find yourself on a path where you're just like, I wasn't even asking to be self-aware when X, Y, and Z happened to me, and then boom, there I was, in the middle of the dark night of a solar, this big reckoning, awakening. That's good. Offer gratitude and thanks to your guides and your ancestors and your higher self if that's where you found yourself. But it was this whole visualization of like, you are still lit the fuck up so brightly behind that eclipse energy. And it was this vibration of, it's easy. It's kind of like this energy of like, imagine. Now, I'm imagining, sort of storytelling, if you will, painting a picture. I am in no way saying that the whole day would go dark. Ooh, do you remember, was it 2017 one? Anyway, it's not that. But I'm saying, imagine metaphorically with me here, right? What if the whole day went dark and we didn't have like all this ambient light and we just have all that, right? And all you could literally see was that ring of fire, right? It would be so important for you to remember to not for a moment drop back down into the wavelengths, into the frequencies, into the mental patterns, into the, think of how wave moves, into the programming of fear, shame, and guilt. But to remember, you know what? No, I know what I went through in the spring of this year. I know where I was at. I remember, maybe you're saying, I remember the message that Spirit gave me. I remember why I started the garden. I remember why we could say I planted those seeds. Or you could even say I remember why my team and higher self and my because we could argue that your ancestors are different forms of you. We could argue that your galactic ancestors are future, past, whatever forms of you. I mean, what is time? Don't get me dipping off into Saturn and Pisces energy, right? What I'm saying is, one way or another, it's you with you, okay? But you could say your ancestors, guides, and spirit maybe planted seeds in you. It's important to remember that now, because the energy is very challenging. It is very challenging. We have now, what today is, Thursday. Mars is transitioning to Scorpio. The energy may even deepen in intensity. We are still in Libra season until the 23rd. We still have Mercury in Libra. Venus has now completed her beautiful, her enlightening, her healing journey through Leo. All through Leo, through her retrograde. Now she's progressed all the way back. Up, down, out, and through, right? She did. And we really learned a lot of lessons on, let's take it all the way down to, let's strip it all the way down to in your heart chakra, in your inner child, in your sacral chakra. Why, what is Spirit saying? What were your choices rooted into why you pursued pleasure here, here, and here? Why did you keep chasing this type of sensual experience? Or on the flip side, why did you keep denying yourself of your worth of having pleasures here, 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 and here? What is that rooted in? What are the shadow wounds rooted in? We did a lot of natal chart work again in July and like the August time frame of exploring people's Black Moon Lilith placements, of exploring their Venus placements and the different things that affected their Venus placements, right? There's a lot of lessons about self-worth. And about how we what is it that we value in our sensual, in this we did make a soul contract to incarnate as a human, right? And to learn those lessons. And part of the experience of being human is very raw, is very emotional. It is very sensual. And I'm not just talking about that type of sensual. I'm talking about we have a body, we have 5 senses, we see beauty, we taste beauty, we smell things, we have all these senses, right? And is like, what type of sensual experience are you having right now and why? And does it show you triggered like trails to trauma, and maybe is like, I'm chasing this type of thing, but I really know that I'm worth so much more. Why am I doing that? So Venus went on this whole journey, but now look, Venus is in Virgo, and there's also a lot of interesting Venus energy in October, which involves yods, which involves, we could go down the list, but I'm just trying to kind of stay focused for time. I just have to trust me on that. And then if you want to follow up with your own research, I think it would be wonderful if you did. But we also have a lot of Virgo influence in this eclipse portal, but in different points of October too. So it's very interesting because we are still moving into October. We are moving into this eclipse season, into this eclipse portal, second one of the year, of course, right? After we've completed our sequence of 4 supermoons. And it's kind of like, let's just clear the shit out already. But while we do that, it's like, let's not forget everything that lit us up in the beginning. everything that inspired us in the beginning. And when I say, again, beginning, you may find yourself at different spots for that. You may have had this huge revelatory experience that was tied back to, the beginning of the wheel of the year this year, the beginning of the zodiac wheel. It's hard for me to relate time as much in the Gregorian calendar, but I kind of think of it more in that way. So for me, the beginning, quote unquote, is like, the springtime. Or again, you could take it back to last spring, which has led you to now. We could even really arguably look at energy as far as like the outer lying planet placements that can take us back like a decade ago to now. But it definitely feels intense, okay? This week feels intense, because of Pluto squaring the nodes, because of it being Libra season, but there's still so much Venus energy going on. And it's kind of like, I tell people when I work on their one-on-one astrology, I tell them when you get to the 7th house, it's very much like you've been working, you with these patterns, you with your family, you with your body. It's been you with you up through to like the 7th house. And then as Libra season, Libra energy, mercurial ruled, right? And we step out and we say, okay, it's kind of like pulling back the curtain to get ready to walk on the stage. You go out and it's like how people's energy mirrors you back to yourself, how you contribute to. I mean, yes, you're going to hear relationships. Yes, you are. But it's so important to remember in wisdom and discernment, right? That we understand that relationships, and this is very Libran energy, right? Relationships mirror you back to yourself. And when you can understand the beautiful wisdom of what an amazing teacher that understanding can be, it's kind of like you shift the game. So I know social media feeds, y'all, please, I'm not going to lecture y'all about what you watch on the TV. I'm not doing it. You have got to take accountability for what you give your energy to. You have to practice discernment. You have to practice focus. You have to be intentional and intuitive, Spirit is saying, right now. And I'm going to leave it there because I'm not trying to debate a bunch of stuff on a YouTube channel. No, absolutely not. Is that bypassing that it doesn't exist? Absolutely not. But it's not what I'm holding space for here. What I want you to understand, Libra energy, right, is that relationships, interactions with people, collaborations, business opportunities, creative agreements, soul, spiritual families, the community, your family, your intimate. I'm not just talking about, is a vibe of people be like, oh, it's Libra season, Mars is going to Scorpio, people are going to be breaking. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about let's get on a deeper wisdom level, okay? I'm talking about in Libra season, after 4 super moons have passed and we are going into our annular solar eclipse with a ring of fire. That moon, is quite the mirror, right? And the axis, once again, of Aries Libra energy is, I do have faith in myself. I remember everything that I was brought into alignment with myself, with my downloads, with my alchemy work that I have been doing, with what the first eclipse season brought into me, right? Because that's like sowing seeds. And now we're past the harvest. And the ring of fire reminds you of how powerful you've become. But the eclipse over the top of that is like a huge mirror. And it's like you're standing, imagine, now, Spirit of shit, I'm seeing this visual of like, imagine you're standing on a stage and you think you're going to see a whole audience, right? A little bit of narcissism, they're going to gas me up. I'm going to feel so wise. Wow, look at me vibes. The whole room is just gonna, look at my beautiful aesthetic. I mean, I've nailed it. Look at this, 7th house energy. I'm coming out on the stage. And then plot twist, it's all mirrors. It's like Spirit is showing me an audience of people and their faces are mirrors. So when you look at them, you know that phrase, namaste. Okay, you know the phrase that's kind of like, I'm you and you are me. You know, I always say very frequently, I am the I am and you are the I am and we are the I am. But that's the duality of it is, okay, that feels really nice. Like that could be the new motivational poster that's hanging everywhere, right? But grasping the uncomfortable truth in Libra season, in, you know, Mars in Scorpio, Mercury in Libra. I feed into other people's perspective of reality. How do I allow them to feed into mine? Mars in Scorpio is like, how do I evolve from making knee-jerk reactions out of a wounded place? And am I let other people's perspective of me control how I react? And if I'm doing that, I need to get real, me with me. That's still me reacting off of wounds that are inside of me. And so this people mirroring you back to yourself is very tricky. Right? And the the new moon, the annular eclipse is going to be in 21 degrees of Libra, and the full moon is going to be in Taurus. So I also think that is very interesting as well, because our nodes shifted in the collective from being at a Taurus Scorpio axis. Now that they are at the we've kind of hit on this before too, they're at the Aries Libra axis. So again, it's very much my needs versus, okay, but it's also not about you. And then on the flip side, it's very much like, I've grown out of thinking that I have to please everyone in the room. And I have to find balance and harmony within myself. You know, the self, the I am. The light has lit me up in my solar plexus and my heart chakra in this way that I have remembered who I am. And then it's the balance, right? It's the justice. It's the justice card. But also it's not always only about you. So it is a very tricky energy right now. Because Venus, let me jump back to Venus and Virgo. You know, Venus and Virgo can be harsh and critical. You know, Venus is like, I did not go through Black Moon and Lilith and Leo holding my hand while I was in my journey in Leo, and I did all this retrograde and all this stuff. I did not bring all of this light and this illumination and this beauty and healing in my inner child and my heart chakra to come back into the house and see all this clutter, because this is not what we're doing anymore, you know? And the eclipse season will love to catch you off guard. The eclipse season would love to catch you off guard. It makes me think, because we're thinking about the moon moving, right? And then the sun, that big ring of fire in the background. It's like the stage is set. There's a big spotlights coming down. And then a bunch of things just move to stand in front of you. And it's like, well, I thought I cleared the stage. I thought I did all this stuff from here to now. It was the seventh house, because the 7th to the 12th is we're really kind of going out. We're interacting with people. How do they interact with us? We are quote unquote on the stage. What are we bringing forth? And then we progress on from there, right? And it's like, hey, cue the new stage change. Like, where's the new set? I thought, why are all these people still standing on the way? These characters are old. I'm not really embodying that avatar anymore. I came up. I got I'm wearing a new, you know what I'm saying, metaphorically. And here I go out on the stage. The spotlight turns on, and then boom. Why are all these people? Why is all this energy? Why are all these things eclipsing me? Because I thought I was going to step out. And then when we reach to the fullness of the completion of that what am I saying? The eclipse portal will be that full moon in Taurus. Kind of taking us back to the lessons that we learned about, embodiment, being fully present, showing up for our lives. What are you investing in? What are you putting value in? And now we've moved on. We've closed that chapter working with those Taurus and Scorpio nodes. And it's kind of like this interesting throwback to that, though, with the full moon in Taurus. With now, again, the nodes moving. And they'll be there for 18 months. I mean, they've been there for a little while already, so it's kind of less than 18 months now. But you know what I'm saying? They'll be there for a while in this Aries Libra axis. So it's kind of like, listen, okay, also Jupiter still in Taurus, Uranus still in Taurus. I mean, both are still in retrograde, but it's kind of a reminder. Hey, we have been working all year about expanding our wisdom, thinking in unique ways, reconsidering what do I value and fucking why? And what does that say about me and how I show up in my everyday life? And if I'm changing my values, and if all these seeds of the light, of the energy, of all these things have put me through all this alchemical work, I've arrived at the stage, it's eclipse season. Why are these characters still on the stage? Do I still want to interact with them? What am I contributing? How am I showing up? It's almost like, you know, Libra is very like aesthetic based too, you know, can be associated a lot of times with the Empress. And it's almost like I got dressed in this whole new costume, but is it even what I want to wear? You know? And the eclipse season is coming in heavy, you know, with a lot of these placements. Again, with Pluto squaring the nodes, with we could really go down a list. Actually, that reminds me, and I wrote this down, but my flighty brain, I totally forgot to grab it. What is the Sabian symbol for this degree? All the degrees have these Sabian symbols on the zodiac wheel, which is kind of like the interpreted, it's like an oracle, it's like a meaning, right? What is the Sabian symbol for? Oh, I was just studying this yesterday. Let me look it up real quick. 21 degrees Libra. Oh, shoot. Because you know what? It absolutely makes sense. But it's such an interesting axis. It's like, it's called A Crowd Upon a Beach. And it kind of has this energy of like releasing self-importance, being more embodied in your actual life, is very interesting. But the whole thing is kind of like loosening up, having compassion for others' experiences. So, you know, again, this is why there is so much tension right now. It's because we have been lit up so fully, right? Ring of fire. Think about it. We've been lit up so fully throughout this year to be reminded, not in an egotistical way. Here's the marker point, I think, is that if this Aries energy and again, you can look at this in an individual way. It depends on how your energy is placed in your own chart, right? But it can be very easy to get super egotistical. Well, it's all just about me, and it's all just about what I see, and it's all just about what I believe, and this is what, and I'm about to Mars and Scorpio, bam, 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 you know, and everyone else can get, you know what I'm saying? And that is not, and I feel like Spirit and your ancestors and guides will kind of pull you and say, we need to sit down. This is not how we dressed you to come out onto the stage, okay? There is a divine, I've been talking about receiving your true divine inheritance all year. It has to do with wisdom. It has to do with discernment. It has to do with light. I'm talking about frequency and energy, elevating you into different patterns of thinking, which will then hopefully elevate you into different habitual choices that will change your life. And that is essentially raising to a new timeline, right? Ain't nobody gonna do that arguing over why the fuck they think that they are right. You know, the higher level of wisdom of the light pouring down on us, the Schumann resonance, the solar, all these things that we are talking about all the time throughout the weeks, throughout the months of the year. And this year has been huge. You know, You think they came to fill you up and remind you of your immensely expansive, powerful connection to the oneness of source of all that is, to make you an egotistical asshole, and it's only about you and what you believe is right, and now you're just going to run out to the lines and you're just going to fight and tear everything down? No, that's like, oh no, boo-boo, sit down. It's very big, like you're missing the whole point. The whole point is that the universal consciousness and, divine source, God, goddess, all these, the undercurrent that runs beneath all things and connects us all is unconditional love and compassion. So the trigger point can be where your ego lies. And usually when we look at where our ego lies, it's because we're covering something that feels sensitive still. It still hurts. Do you know what I mean? Like you're going to be extra defensive over a wounded spot. It's important to understand that a lot of the vibrational, alchemy, you could say elevation, maybe you could say calibration that has occurred this year already, reminds you that you can choose. And it has to be, well, you got your free will. Ain't nobody gonna tell you what has to be anything, but we're having compassion. It's surrendering. Someone wrote it as, and you can look up all these Sabian symbols. People have very interesting interpretations, but someone kind of wrote this whole thing about how it had to do with surrendering self-importance, and learning to be sensitive, that everyone is in their own experience, and that's going to be in different places. And you know what the best way to deal with that is, though? You know what the best way to deal with that is if you're struggling with that, if your ego, your wounds are being triggered, and you're cycling through these different types of energy, right? You know how people love, in life coaching, motivational things, love to say, what's your why? What's your why? That's why I'm always telling people, if you know your purpose, if you don't know your purpose, you need to dig into a self-awareness journey and get into your healing and get rooted in your purpose, which is a deeper, more spiritual way of saying, know your why, right? Okay, but it's applicable. When you're in that place, the best thing you can do is go outdoors and get grounded. Go put your hands on what fills you. This is you embodying your experience right now. What does Buddha say? Heaven is in the breast. Heaven is in the right now. You can go chop wood and carry water. What is it that you need to do to return to your soul purpose and focus on that? And you can also understand you're going to see a shit ton of fucking shit on social media. Lord, child, I just want to, you can put your phone down. Actually, you can go outside. Well, now I feel like Spirit's like, look. Eight of Pentacles. What are you pouring yourself into? You know what you can do? You can say, I'm going to do some breath work. I understand that when I see things in other people, when I see things in social media, when I see things in my community, when I see things when I'm interacting with other people. Oh, that's my little cicada. Sorry, guys. Yes, I have all the things, okay? All of the witchy things. Listen. Let me move my beetle over to put my cicada. Listen. Yes, I make tools with these things sometimes, and sometimes I just enjoy them because they mean different things to me. Hold on, somebody's like, ooh, let me see what you got. Hold on. I have a butterfly wing, a beetle, a cicada. Y'all, this is my life. Y'all, if you know me, you know. Oh, what else is something interesting that I got? This is my grasshopper. Anyway, listen. Hey, look, see, we're grounding back our passionate, ignited energy into the present. by showing you my weird collection of oddities that I think are very beautiful. Anyway, what you can do is come back down to your natural setting and ground those emotions. And when you see something that triggers you, because you're like, what the fuck? That is not right. That is not fair. That is not just. Please understand that you hollering about a bunch of mess on some social media platform. No. What we do is we return to our own state of divinity, right? And we understand, let me be inspired to return to compassion in my own community. Now, I'm not saying, I think rituals to send out healing vibrations to all, to intend to impact the collective with may all beings know peace, may all beings know love. Yes. We'll have a video. We'll put a pin in that and come back to it one day. We'll have a video another day about people talking about prayers and what is it? Thoughts and prayers. Anyway, not for today, Spirit said, not for today. Because listen, it's like, okay, we can practice awareness of what's going on. We don't have to practice spiritual bypassing, but we can understand that we always return back to the self and say, what is the mirror showing me about myself? Because the best thing that I have the most control over changing is myself. Ooh, Spirit talking about, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm asking him to change his ways. Listen. Eight of Pentacles is, I always call it like the Mirakai, the Mirakesh card. You're pouring your soul essence into something. So in this intensity of energy, a lot of thought patterns are dying. That's what happens when vibrational frequencies are raising to a new level of awareness. And when you're out there and you're holding one of those light rods down, I'm gonna tell you what, it can feel like you're holding a freaking trident in the middle of a chaotic fucking ocean, and you're like, you just want me to stand here and hold my little pole of light where the winds are swirling around me, and they will be. Well, they won't be all the time, but that's part of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'd encourage you, we still gotta hold the line. But you can go back into your natural element. You can go outdoors. You can create, reconnect to like-minded people in your community. Take that compassion, take that inspiration to your community and see what you can do with it there. Y'all, don't get me. Let my ancestors and guides help me grow and heal on my path all the time. We all have our growth and healing points. Don't let me swing into my ego and my shadow and start telling y'all about people sitting here on social media hollering about this and that all over the place. Now y'all gonna get my South Carolina coming out here, okay? I try to practice my corporate voice on my channel, but listen, take that and alchemize it into, where's the trigger that is mirroring back to me? How can I take that back into my community? Now, I think that if you want to send healing vibrations to the entire collective, as we are going through a very intense shift, because when the vibrational frequency increases, what happens? There are hungry things at the bottom that are angry because they can't feed. You know what I mean? When y'all know, look, I need to make like a vibrational scale that has tears, and I can just whip it out and be like, let me show you. Okay. When a lot of the energy start moving upwards, is like swishing a bottle of something and the stuff settling at the bottom. You know what I mean? If you had feeder energy on level 15 and everybody is collectively towing the line up to 25, but they can't feed off the bottom anymore, what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot of anger about that. There's going to be a lot of frustration about that. But now what you going to look like? Causing everybody to pull the whole entire line back down because you're trying to either drop down back to 15 to pull everybody up with you, or you getting knocked all out of your alignment, you falling off the line, and you're back down there where? Now you found yourself pulled all out of the frequency and the you know what I'm saying? The timelines. And that's okay. I mean, part of that is how the wave is going to work as it increases. But I'm telling you right now, I encourage you to put your hands on something. You know, love you. Okay, you know, I love you, but this is what I'm saying to you. What can you do where you are? Is big muscle up in the community vibes. You know what I'm saying? That is the 21 degree Sabian symbol is let me go back out. Okay, it's easy for me to sit here and judge and sit here and be triggered and sit here, but what is that doing? It's not really doing nothing. And if you want to get on a frequential level, talking about entities and talking about dark matter and the inverted matrix and all these different things, by doing that, you're actually charging the wrong grid battery. Hello. Okay, that's not what we do around here. So I'm going to need you to not take your battery plug that you'd have been worked up all year and doing all this wonderful work. And we've been cleansing and healing our, we driving our Merkabas now. We ain't going to drive our Merkabas right back down the scale and crash at the bottom, because then they win in the same plot. Okay? Listen. Eight of Pentacles is the energy of what can I go pour my soul into to build up my community, to build up my soul family. Eight of Pentacles can definitely be about how a soul can be of service. And I'm not saying you do need to practice energetic boundary. Out now Spirit was kind of showing me is this whole thing about don't just let anyone into your house to look at all your pentacles that you've brought in from your harvest of hard work. Okay. You need to practice energetic boundaries, of course, yes. And there are going to be times with the Aries Libra axis that you're going to have to kind of stand up for yourself, you know. But during this weekend and as we progress into this eclipse portal and go past the new moon and then we get closer to the full moon, just tag out, take a deep breath, go outdoors. I know that it can get emotional. But we hold so much power in the vibration of our mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Water work can be very helpful for releasing things. You maybe ask yourself, is this mine that I feel, or does this belong to the collective? Salt baths are really wonderful, and please speak life over your water. It is astoundingly powerful. Even if all you can do is just speak life over, say a prayer to the water before you get in the shower, take a bath. Salt baths, work with essential oils in the shower if that's all you can do. You can do tinctures that you can add to your water, gemstones in your water, speak life into your water to ask for healing, to release a lot of these frequencies and energies that are just going to be, whoo. I'm telling you, Pluto square in the nose, Mars and Scorpio, this is going to be moving through. You may be feeling it. Ask yourself, is this mine or does it belong to the collective? And if I have appropriate, healthy, spirit, mind, body, hygiene practices, okay, cool, I've done those. Now, I will go out and see how I can help my community. And we all do that in different ways. Or you know what I mean? Sometimes you need to go out and just be alone and be grounded. And that's okay. I mean, Libra season is going to have you in a lot of positions where relationships are probably going to be in your face. Collaborations, people at work. And listen, if there are people, once again, on the stage that are not what you are intending to play out anymore, by all means, please use this eclipse energy to clean the set. You know what I mean? Somebody was making reference to Star Trek and talking about like the holodeck and how, if you didn't like the simulation, it was just wiped out. You know what I'm saying? Stop replaying the same characters that got you in a play you don't even want to be in. Ask your ancestors and guides and your team and higher self to use the energy, the powerful energy of the eclipse portal to reset the stage. Right? And then go to work and be about it. I know the energy is intense out there. That's why we need to be in natural environments. That's why we need to be getting in touch with our body. Full moon coming on in Taurus. We'll be here before we know it. When we are embodying, we're reminded of our ancestors. It's a great time. It's a great time to be very present exactly where you are. Okay? So I did not intend to be here for 45 minutes, but, I guess Spirit had things to say. So, love you guys. Appreciate you so much. Just stay grounded out there and take a deep breath, because it's going to be intense in October. But it's also, intensity teaches us to use our wisdom and discernment and to put it into practice. Oh, y'all don't get me started about how Libra season will teach you real quick that it's not always time to talk. Said from an air sign, right? Sometimes you have to learn when you just need to be quiet. Okay, because it is not going to contribute anything helpful anyway to be all in an uproar. Also, it's going to knock you out your alignment, and then we're going to have to do 2 more salt baths, and you know what I mean, to get right. Okay, so anyway, I love you guys. I may hop on and just do some channeling or share some messages, or if there's, things that want to come through on the eclipse. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend, okay? I look forward to talking to you soon.